And welcome to 647. 6 stories for 7 a.m. because there is, is there a famine of truth in our land. And this is your quick news fix, and the truth starts now. Okay, listen, we're in for a rough ride today because the news landscape has been full of fluff basically since last weekend, and it needs to be addressed because the giant response from our bettors is you can't handle the truth.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, so I didn't start this service to become a comedian. All right, it's about getting the truth out there. So let's do it. I'm looking for arterial blood today. We'll start light. Take one. Dave's Hot Chicken. In 2017, 3 guys pooled together their assets and had $900 between them and launched a chicken food stand serving chicken tenders with fries as a pop-up in an East Hollywood parking lot. First night, they sold 4 orders and made $40. But things got better. And then they said, you know what? Let's franchise this idea. And now it's 2025, and they have over 300 locations and are selling their company for $1 billion. Only in America. Work hard, dream big. All right. Take 2. Preparing for student success. A professor at Miami-Dade College teaching a course titled Preparing Students for Success. The course was being offered to high school students to help them develop academic goals. Parents were shocked when reviewing questions that students were expected to answer. Here's one. What do you think caused your heterosexuality? Number 2, is it possible that being straight is just a phase you may grow out of? These are academic goals we're looking for here, right? Preparing for success. And here's number 3, considering the menace of hunger and overpopulation, could the human race survive if everyone was straight like yourself? This sounds like a grooming app, not a course that high school kids should be participating in. And this BS at a time when U.S. heterosexual couples are having 1.6 children together, a sure way to end America. Jeez. All right, take 3. Columbia gets an F. The U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights yesterday notified the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, and you don't want to play with these people. I've been through it with them. Okay? They warned the Commission on Higher Education that Columbia University, due to anti-discrimination violations, has failed to meet accreditation standards. See, the Houthi surrender in Yemen. See, MIT surrender last week. See, Harvard teetering. See, CBS and Paramount convulsed. Maybe a research grant for Columbia to study these 4 Trump head-ons might help them. Our universities have become rat's nests of radical leftist ideology. They do not teach, they indoctrinate. Their crowning achievement is to take a fresh-faced high school graduate and turn them into a gender-bending, hate America first activist. See Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. All right. Take 4 is a part 1 and a part 2. This is Marco Rubio in 2 parts. Part 1, Chinese scholar at University of Michigan 33-year-old Younging Jian and her boyfriend Gung Ho were arrested after being stopped at customs in the Detroit Metropolitan Airport. They were caught smuggling in a bioweapon, a pathogen fungus that attacks crops, livestock, and humans. Both Jian and her boyfriend lied to FBI agents upon being interviewed. Their plan was to sneak this agro-terrorism weapon into a lab at the University of Michigan, and from there, who knows? Trump needs to blow ballast on all Chinese scholars, arrest and interrogate. There are estimated to be over 300,000 Chinese student scholars in STEM fields in the U.S. with CCP handlers. Marco Rubio plans to cancel visas of 280,000 of them. Trump team, this is your 6th month we're starting. Issues like this should have happened in the first 90 days. Just saying. That's part 1. Marco Rubio, part 2, Rubio's rare earth quid pro quo ties in with this stuff. China is withholding rare earth minerals and magnets as tariff negotiating tools. So Marco counters by canceling visas of 280,000 Chinese scholars here doing research, in quotes. Listen, this is where China's getting all their ideas. They don't generate new ideas. They steal all their ideas, and then they have slave labor make it all for them. So China controls 70% of rare earth mining and 90% of rare earth processing. This stuff is crucial for computers, telecom equipment, F-35 fighters, drones, submarines, and smart bombs. Kind of crucial, wouldn't you think? Glad we waited until we lost South Korea, almost all of our medicine production, until things are on the verge of going kinetic. Where was AI when all of this suicidal planning with China was going on? The hogs on the hill could not care less. The money's fat and the living is easy. All right. Take 5. The bird rule. This is a congressional rule that says extraneous measures that have only a negligible impact on the budget or none at all have to go. What are they talking about? Why are we talking about the bird rule? Because dangerous stuff is coming our way and we're being sold out. In plain English, when compromised squishes like House Speaker Mike Johnson are trying to get the votes they need to pass the big, bodacious, behemoth blunder bill, members will ask for an item to be included because a lobbyist wants to give them a nice, fat envelope. The worst of this is the 10-year freeze on state AI laws. That's been just snuck into the big behemoth bill, right? Why would they want a 10-year freeze on state AI laws? Does anyone smell the foul odor of Silicon Valley billionaire money around Mikey? These mega nerds believe they can take over the world in less than 4 years with AI. A 10-year moratorium is just for good measure. You all better scream at your reps in the Senate before this thing gets voted on. These are the same bought and paid for clowns that pass laws saying Big Pharma could not be sued for knowingly harming millions with a fake vaccine sold with lies, and they are supposedly untouchable thanks to our representatives. It's disgusting. All right, take 6. Old Hickory. That's what they called Andrew Jackson. Why? Because hickory was and is one of the most important hardwoods for post and beam construction. It's fast-growing, incredibly hard, and won't dent with a beautiful grain. That's why they call him Old Hickory. All qualities attributed to the first populist president who was always ready to do battle. Famous for his military exploits, he also took on the deep state elites of his time. Jackson opposed the charter renewal of the Second Bank of the United States because it was a big government play to create a huge, powerful financial institution that favored elites and politicians and their donors. Jackson vetoed the recharter against both houses of Congress. He threatened to jail elites and argued vehemently with his own VP in public. Why talk about this? Because Trump is facing a crisis of government 100 times worse than Jackson. This crisis threatens to turn the White House into Fort Apache. The drone attacks last weekend in Russia, ostensibly by Ukraine, have U.S. military, DOD, and CIA stink all over it. Mike Pompeo may have organized this hit over 18 months in service to the Warhawks to make sure that Trump would never get Putin to the peace table. They want World War III over there. Putin would only behave on the assurance that Trump was in charge. This high treasonous act by Pompeo and anti-Trump actors means that our government is in a war with itself. Chinese money has made this all possible. Trump fans are saying he knew about this and was letting it fly to identify all the traitors within our government. Let's hope so. Objectively, it looks like Trump and his entire cabinet were in the dark about this 18-month planned insurrection against the foreign policy of the sitting president, i.e., no new wars. The Senate is laughing at Trump and waiting for Putin's retaliation to kick off World War III and their payoffs from military contractors. China is laughing at Trump as they just made South Korea a puppet bitch state and will take Taiwan while the U.S. destroys itself from within. This is Trump's defining moment. He will either take action like Old Hickory or end up at the Alamo surrounded by swamp elites and their Chinese framers. But you know what? At least you know the truth. So please, like us, share us, make comments, and above all, have a great day at work. And God bless you. And please, God, bless the United States of America. I'm out.
Masterpiece. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.